Our planet has always been an equal place. The bottom staggering 70% of the global population controls just 3% of the global wealth. Compare that to the 8 wealthiest people whose wealth combined equals to the bottom 47% of the population of the entire planet. Despite what you might have heard, the top 1% isn't as wealthy as it might seem. You only need to have a net worth of $770,000 and you can consider yourself the 1%. That's definitely a lot of money, but it's not even a million. With that kind of net worth, you can't get yourself a yacht or even fly private. The median house in California costs around $600,000. So every house owner in California can consider him or herself the top 1%. Those who are buying these mega yachts and flying private jets are the ones who are at the top of that 1%, the billionaire club. As of 2018, there are over 2,200 US dollar billionaires worldwide, with a combined wealth of over $9.1 trillion. That's more than the GDP of the entire of some of the most advanced countries on earth, such as Japan, Germany, or the United Kingdom. And what's scarier is that the amount of wealth billionaires control has only been growing. Just in the year of 2000, their combined net worth was below $1 trillion. 3 years ago, it was $7.7 trillion. And a year later, it's over $9 trillion. What we want to explore in this video is where you stand in the spectrum, or I shall say, where you're supposed to stand. Are you too poor for your age? Or maybe you're ahead of everyone else? If you are, let's say, not in a very good financial position, you can always change that because it's there right in your hands. Whether you are fresh out of school, well into your career, or forging your path through life, it's never too late to start saving or to check to see if you are heading in the right direction. Calculating your net worth isn't really difficult, it's much easier than you might think. Take a piece of paper, draw a line in the middle of it. On one side, you have to add up the total value of your assets. This includes the current market value of your investment accounts, if you have one of course, retirement savings, homes, cars, trucks, valuable things maybe like jewelry, and the cash value of your checking saving accounts. And that's all of your assets. On the other side, write down your liabilities. This includes your mortgage, car loan, student loan, personal loans, credit card debts, whatever, $500 you owe to your buddy, and all other forms of debts you might have. And now finally, subtract your liabilities from your assets. The total cost is considered your personal net worth. Your total could result in a positive net worth or maybe a negative. If you are in the negative net worth category, don't be afraid, it's alright. It's typical for people who are early in their careers to have a low or a negative net worth if they have student loans or are homeowners or just starting to save for the future. If you are in your 20s and have zero in savings, congrats, you are doing not bad. I'm not kidding, it's fine not to have any savings at this point of your life. Let's face it, if you're in college and have a student debt, your part-time job would hardly cover your bills, leave alone paying your debts. So don't worry, most 20-year-olds have a negative net worth. However, that doesn't mean you should not budget and make smart financial decisions, because often it's only later in your life you will realize the consequences of your financial decisions. If you are smart enough to start saving even as little as 5 to 10% of your income in your 20s, you are going to be well above the average in less than a decade. When you approach your 30s and you want to be doing at least good enough, you should have at least saved 6 months of your income as an emergency fund. If we take the average household income, then that's almost $31,000. But if you want to be better than your average boy, then you should have saved at least a year of your income. Emergencies happen. Sometimes they even lead to bankruptcies. Hundreds of thousands of people file for bankruptcy due to unexpected healthcare bills. So, be mindful. When it comes to your net worth, according to the Fed, The average net worth for families in the United States under the age of 35 as of 2016 was $76,000. But this number isn't accurate because a small percentage of wealthy Americans scoot it. That's why the median is much lower at $11,000. That's not hard to achieve. The reason that this number is so low that even though average adults might even have assets like house and a car, their student loans and mortgage would overshadow them. So don't worry, as you begin to cover your student loan and your mortgage, your net worth would quickly build up. As you start hitting your 40s, ideally you should have saved at least 3 times your income. If you're earning $100,000, then your number is $300,000. But that's quite unrealistic for most people. In fact, according to the Fed, the median income of 40-year-olds is a little below $60,000. Usually, people have families and lots of bills to cover at this stage of their lives, so it's wise to be better than the average if you don't want to be struggling financially. Taking care of an entire family isn't easy, especially when your children begin to grow. As you approach your 50s, your net worth should be significantly higher because you're also getting closer to retirement age. And if you want to have a good retirement, you have to prepare for it. The median net worth of 50-year-olds is $124,000. But keep in mind that it's the median. The average is $727,000, which is much higher. And your savings should be 5 times your annual income. It might seem unrealistic to reach these numbers, but to be practical, even saving a small portion of your income over 30 years is enough. And if you decide to invest, it's easily going to add up due to the power of compounding. Keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to follow these numbers. You can work a little harder and retire in your 30s. Possibilities are beyond what you might imagine. All my childhood, I wondered why on earth some people are rich while others are poor. My parents kept telling me that it all has to do with school. Study hard, get good grades, and one day you're going to have everything you ever wanted. I didn't understand that logic then, and I still don't understand it today. The school was boring. I tried to study but never had the inspiration to get high grades. However, today things are different. The road to building wealth is clear like never before. Even if you don't have access to learn directly from the wealthiest people or you're lazy to read the books, everything is clean and clear on the internet. You have it there. Money alone isn't going to make you wealthy. Your dollars are going to lose value year after year. True wealth hides in obtaining assets that continuously pay back. And with the power of compounding, you're only going to get wealthier. 7% on $1,000 might not be much. I mean, making $70 a year from your investments isn't a lot. But 7% on $10 million is $700,000. The amount of wealth that would put you in the top 1%. It's extremely difficult to build the foundation to your wealth, but once you do it, it accumulates by itself. Most people find it difficult to deny themselves the short-term pleasures for the sake of long-term wealth. You might have to live on an extremely tight budget even if you are making 6 figures. As of 2018, the average median household income in the United States is little over $61,000. The stock market has proved itself to guarantee 10% returns in the long run, which means with an investment of little over $600,000, you can ensure yourself that average household income without working another day in your life. Of course, that's just in theory, because as humans, we have to work to give some meaning to our lives. But you get the idea. Nobody has an excuse for not understanding how to build wealth. The key is to start as early as possible to take advantage of the power of compounding. If you're in your 20s, it might be silly to overthink about your 40s and 50s, but the fact is, think about how fast the last year has passed. How about the last decade? Imagine if you started back in 2010, how wealthy you would be today. It's pointless to regret over the past because time can never be reversed, but what you can do is to make a different decision today.